Hey, good morning. Hey, I'm at the beach, of course. I think it's Wednesday morning. It's firing. It's hot and sunny. The sun's only been up for about an hour. Forgot my tripod, so I'm holding the phone in my hand. So it does make it a little awkward. So the quality of this video might be even lower than normal. Anyway, it's firing right here on the second sandbar. It's very nice. These ladies are sitting in they have their tent and they're up on the beach this morning to block the sun behind them. See? God, the sun, man. Anyway, it's about 8. Tide was low this morning, but it is coming in right now. But it's still very low. When I first got here, there was one guy out, and there's about 7 people out already at the spot. But I don't know, like I said, like 15 minutes ago, there was nobody here. It broke real quick. I've lived here it'll be 14 years, and this became my backyard for 14 years. So this was the first time I moved into the city and was experiencing big city living, but I was blessed enough to be able to get a place that was just a couple blocks from this. So even though I was living in a big apartment building all this time and I didn't have a backyard, this became my backyard. I come down here just about every morning or every couple of mornings. I used to surf every day, and I don't do that anymore after a handful of injuries and some surgery. I only go out once in a blue moon. But these days, all my stuff is packed up. All my wetsuits. My surfboards are out, but all my equipment is packed up. My wetsuits and everything. I didn't plan on surfing anymore. But I'm still keeping all my equipment. I had considered giving it away to friends. And I offered a couple friends a couple soft top surfboards for their grandkids when they come to visit, but none of my friends needed them. Everybody has enough surfboards. I know it's just how it is here. So there is a surplus of surfboards in this neighborhood. So nobody really wants my surfboards. They're old and they're used, and so I'm keeping them. But this has become my backyard. So when you live here, this close to the beach in the city, this is your backyard. You just kind of get used to it the way that I have over the years. If you can swing something like this, I totally recommend it. If you have the ability to live on the California coast, to live on the beach for 10 or 15 years in your mid-40s like I did, I would suggest you do it. Anywhere along the coast, really. In any state. I always want to live by the beach. I grew up at the beach, so I always wanted to live at the beach. Lived here all those years. Before living here, I lived down the coast. Let's look at this crab killing zone. Is out of control this morning. Let's take a look at it. But now I'm ready to retire away from the city. The city has really degenerated in the past 10 or 15 years. Really like the past 10 years. It has changed drastically. Let's look at all this stuff. Boy, this was a seafood buffet this morning. There's a little bit of everything. There's some crab, there's clam, there's mussels. There's the big three. So we got the big three this morning. Some birds ate crab, clam, and mussels. And left the claws, as they always do. Although this one got chopped up a little bit. So there's a bed of mussels. We saw one a couple days ago or yesterday. I forget when that was. But there's a bed of mussels somewhere out here. Oh. What's up, bud? And then here's some good sized crab from this morning. There's a big mussel. See how this mussel bed is connected? Oh. Take a look at this. See this? That's a plant. Look at this guy. It looks like an alien, doesn't it, you guys? Does this look like an alien to you? It looks like an alien to me. This beach has an all sandy bottom right here. There's not a lot of rocks here, almost none. So what there are is under the water there's a series of sandbars that gradually get deeper and deeper as they go. There's 3 sandbars that are closest to where I'm standing right now. And those are the ones, usually that's all we ever talk about. Because those are the ones that are close enough to the shore that they affect us when we surf here. But the sandbars keep going, and it gets deeper and deeper the further out you go. And I've been out here, this is probably about 10 years ago. And it was probably around this time of the year, because I think it was warm and sunny. But I was out on the 3rd sandbar, where the guys that are the furthest out are, that you probably can't see. And I could see the bottom, and a humpback whale approached. I see this whale, and he was swimming in towards the shore, like towards me. Probably about 200 yards straight out from where we are right now. A couple football fields out there. Comes over towards me. He didn't even care about me. He was coming towards the shallow water at the top of the 3rd sandbar, and he was coming in because he was scratching himself on the sand on the bottom of the ocean, like scratching the barnacles on his belly and rolling under the water, like rubbing against the sand. Real close to me, man. It was a trip. It kind of cracked me up. But he came in. See, there's somebody swimming out here right now. I can see them. Anyway, right about where all those farthest guys are. Maybe even further out, actually. Probably further behind them. Yeah, a whale just coming in to shallow water so he could scratch his belly. It was pretty majestic. Kind of cool. But because there's the sand bottom, like I just described to you, because there's just nothing under here except for sand, the further you get out, there's a reef, and there's plant life and animal life at the bottom. But up close like this, there's really not much other than crab and the shellfish that we look at. Because of that, this is not a shark beach. Even though there's sharks all around us in each direction, like to the south, to the west, and to the north, there's lots of sharks. There aren't sharks here because there's not a lot of things here for sharks to eat and for them to prey on. You know, sharks are alpha predators and they love to eat marine mammals. That's really all they're looking for to eat. They're looking to eat sea lions, seals, dolphins, sea otters, and sometimes they'll accidentally bite a surfer because they'll think that a surfer is going to be a seal or a sea lion. But since there's no rocks here, because there's no rocks, there's nothing or not much for seals or sea lions to eat here. See, seals and sea lions and otters, they eat stuff that is around the rocks. They like to be around the rocks. They also like to be around the kelp, like the kelp beds. There's not a lot of kelp beds here, not in close, maybe further out. So since we don't have those things, we don't have a lot of we don't get a lot of marine mammals here. They're not here up on this beach all the time. Since they're not here and there's nothing for them to eat here, they prefer not to be here, then the sharks aren't here either. And that's just the story of why there's not very many sharks on this beach. Now, it certainly happens occasionally. It is the ocean that sharks can go wherever they want, but typically they like to be where there's things for them to eat. And they're not really trying to eat people. Typically when they bite into a person, they spit you right back out. The reason why they'll spit you out as a surfer is they're expecting you to be a big, soft, blubbery seal or sea lion. They're not expecting to bite into a chunk of foam on a surfboard. They're not expecting to bite somebody who is hard and muscly and filled with bones. So usually they'll spit you out. They'll bite and then they'll take off because you weren't what they expected. And that's just usually because, I mean, anything could happen. Here's a helicopter. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm not really sure the identification of that helicopter. It is not the Coast Guard helicopter. I'm not sure who that is though, but it's a big one. Looks like a large, expensive helicopter, but it's not the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard are real close. They're right over here, a couple miles down the beach. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Does it say boob? I think it says boob. That's kind of cool. I like that. Probably doesn't say boob, but it looks like it says boob. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day or evening.